My good people, message of the day for episode 20 comes to us from the late, great, iconic Tupac Amaru Shakur. And it's from the song Dear Mama. And it's the following lyric. There's no way I can pay you back, but my plan is to show you that I understand. You are appreciated. Now, the last couple of weeks have been really hard with some of my friends in regards to their moms. Unfortunately, I had a friend of mine, a dear friend, who had to bury his mother a couple of weeks ago. And once again, man, my condolences and prayers to him and his family. And I also have another friend of mine who's going through that emotional roller coaster that comes with an aging mom and some of the health issues that can present. No lie, this was like literally the first week I seen my mom walk with her new cane, and I got to be honest with you, that optic really messed me up. You had me feeling a certain way. Your mother, whether you're a boy or a girl, are the first women that you fall in love with. There's nothing like your mother's touch when you're sick. There's nothing like her food. There's nothing like her advice. There's nothing like her smile, and there's definitely nothing like her hug. A mother will root from you from the time you start Little League all the way up until the time you get married. I have some dear friends of mine who unfortunately lost their mothers at an early age. So I say all that to say this. If you're blessed enough to still have your mother around, if she's healthy or even with health issues, make sure you call her. Make sure you tell her that you love her. Make sure you tell her thank you. Make sure you tell her that you understand and that she is appreciated. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk out talk. My good people, welcome back to this episode number 20 of Don't Kill the Messenger podcast. As always, coming to you is your boy Marc. What to do, my good people? Yo, we at episode number 20. You know, it's so crazy. I look back at my podcast journey, and I remember the first time I put something out, I believe it was February 3rd, right? Now, mind you, I didn't know what the hell I was doing. I didn't put any descriptions of the video. I didn't have any microphone. I damn sure didn't have lights. I mean, I was all up close and personal. I was low key doing a poor man's version of the comedian Uncle Joey Diaz, because at the time I was listening to his podcast a lot, and I just really thought he was hilarious. And you know, he's a little vulgar, so I was just cursing up a storm.
That beautiful smile, everyone, hey man, you got a nice smile. If you only fucking think, I'm to the point where like nothing embarrasses me. I mean, I don't do like low key, like if my pants drop down in the middle of whatever, that might be embarrassing. But I mean,
I watched that podcast the other day, and I just, you know, I ain't gonna lie to you, I cringed. I was like, oh my God, man. But the thing is that I put it out there, I got it out there, it started me. We're now 20 shows in. It's like really a beautiful thing, and I know we took some breaks here and there because, you know, sometimes life be lifing, man. But we're moving forward. The last episodes have done over 100 views each, which is a good thing. So hopefully the more I do, man, the more people watch, the more you spread the word. Thank you to all of you guys who've been rocking with me on my podcast journey since number one. Now, it's so crazy. I remember when I released that, you know, and my wife, I remember her telling me, hey, man, just put it out. I have no setup. I didn't know what I was doing, man. I think I put my iPhone, I think I set it up on like, what did I put it on? Maybe like a book or something to hold it up. And I was just ripping and running, man. I was just talking junk. And then I went to Vistaprint, and then I printed out the logo that you see in the back for the show. And then I learned on iMovie how to make that sucker go up and down. And then I dropped the remix version of the of episode number 1 on February 5th. So yeah, man, listen, let me tell you something. No matter what you do in life, find something that you're passionate about, even if it's a pet project, even if it's a hobby. Just find something that you're passionate about that you can listen, because if you work for a living and you just do the standard 9 to 5, and you know, and you got to take care of things in life, even as an adult, it's important to find things that you're passionate about. Sometimes I lose sleep over this podcast because I want it to be perfect. Sometimes, and you can ask my kids because I know they hear me and they were like, this guy's a maniac. I record this show like 5, 6, 7 times if I feel like I'm sounding stupid, if I feel like I'm not articulate enough, if I feel like I'm not sounding, you know, like somebody you want to listen to, if I feel like I say, you know what I mean, 1,000 times, I will run it back and do the show all over again. So I say all that to say, man, that I'm low-key proud of my little podcast, 20 shows in. Congratulations to us. Me, myself, and I, and Mini Pac, and the whole family, because trust me, the things that I do to get this show out there, they have to endure as well. All right, cool. Now listen, ladies, I hope you are ready to lose your man to the side piece of all side pieces. And when I say that, I'm serious. And you're going to lose your man. I know my wife is about to lose me for at least the next 6 to 7 months. Now, ladies, if you watch this show and you probably say this guy is sick, who the hell is he talking about? What side piece? And sometimes your man might leave the house on a random Sunday to meet up with the fellas so we can all partake in this side piece. Yes, she's just a side piece that keeps on giving. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Nefla. Or one might say the NFL. That's right, baby. Football is upon us. It is here. So I'm sure with the show today. Today is September 1st. And football, I believe, the first game smoking out is next Thursday. And I'm excited about it, man. The fall is here. I mean, I ain't going to lie to you. It seems like the weather's going to get hotter next week sometime. But today when I went outside, man, I had to come back in and put on a hoodie because it was straight hoodie. By the way, speaking of hoodie weather, you know, everyone's saying, oh, it's hoodie season, it's hoodie season. But is it me or it seemed like the whole summer was hoodie season? All these little kids, all these teenagers and young adults was all wearing hoodies and shiesty masks the whole summer. I promise you. I'm like, what the hell that's about? You're not hot. And it was always black hoodies, bro. I don't understand it, but whatever, man. Anyway, you're about to lose your husband. The side chick is back. They got the first game. The first game is Thursday, September 7th, which I'm not going to watch because that is going to be a special day. My better half birthday is going to be there. But it's going to be the Chiefs versus the Lions. Ooh, that's going to be good. That's going to be McHolmes is going to be playing. Now, I'm a Giants fan. I don't know if you can tell by this big-ass Giants hat that I'm wearing, but the Giants' first game is going to be September 10th, 8:20 p.m., That's going to be a really good game. I'm excited. Okay, I haven't made Don't Kill the Messenger podcast guarantee in a while. Now, I'm not going to lie. If you've been following this show, you know my sports guarantees me absolutely nothing. It means nothing. I don't know why I do it, but I'm going to do it another one anyway. Don't Kill the Messenger. Guarantee. The Giants will finish the season 11-5, and the Giants will make the playoffs. We would get beat in the first round of the playoffs, but nevertheless, we will make the playoffs. Remember, I said it here. Stamp it, book it. Don't Kill the Messenger podcast. Sports guarantee. The Giants will finish 11-5, make it to the playoffs, lose in the first round. That's what's going to go down. Okay, now speaking of keeping it in the sports, Undisputed came back after a 2-month hiatus, and Skip Bayless, I guess, put out what he considers a dream team of sorts of sports analysts. Now, he came back with a new revamped roster. If you don't know, let me just refresh your memory. I believe he had 7 years with the good Uncle Shannon Sharp, who's about to start his little stint on First Take with Stephen A. next week. So they parted ways. Skip took 2 months. I guess he just wanted to enjoy the summer, retool. And ESPN was doing mass layoffs. They fired Max Kellerman, Keyshawn Johnson. They got rid of Mark Jackson. They got rid of Jeff Van Gundy. I mean, it was like a fire sale going on at ESPN. So Skip picked up some of the people that formerly worked at ESPN, and Rachel Nichols is one of them. Keyshawn Johnson is one of them. He also brought on Michael Irvin, who was let go from, I believe, what it was, NFL Game Day, something like that. Some allegations that he said something inappropriate to a young lady, which hasn't been proven. So Skip brought him along. But the interesting hire that Skip brought along was Richard Sherman. Now, if you're not into the sports, I'm just going to put you on. Richard Sherman and Skip Bayless once had super beef. I mean, and it was a clip that went viral to this day.
Skip can say whatever he wants, but Skip, whenever you refer to me, whenever you speak to me, whenever you address me as all-pro Stanford graduate, because those are some accomplishments you can aspire to, you will never accomplish. You have never accomplished anything. So, but those things are on my resume. Those are what I've done. It's my second year in the NFL, going on my third. I mean, you tell me who's wrong.
Okay, I'll accept that. I think I've accomplished more in my field than you have in yours, though you're just getting started.
So I'm the top of my field. So I'm all pro. I'm the best, one of the best 22 players in the NFL. You're going to brush it off, but I don't think you're the best 22 anything in sports and in media and anything. I think you
debatable.
think more of yourself than you actually can, prove. But
Okay. Do you
I'll
think
put it
you're
like
better
this.
than
I'll put it
Darrell
like
Revis
this.
is right now?
In my 24 years of life, I'm better at life than you. So
Okay. All right, that's fair.
Let's
All
get
right.
down to
well,
that
let's
brass
stay.
tacks.
Let's not get personal here. I just want to know.
So the fact that Skip even was man enough to know, hey man, this guy right here, who I kind of had a contentious history with, would be brilliant on my show, and Skip brought him on. So kudos to Skip for bringing Richard Sherman. Not gonna lie to you, the first episode was kind of like three black workers brought their white coworker to the barbecue. And he couldn't get a word in edgewise.
It's not about
One
getting rid of him.
One second. What, you gonna keep him? You gonna hold on to him while somebody else starts? You are not.
Wait.
You are not. No, hold
What
on
do
to
you
him.
mean when somebody else is starting?
Well, let me make my point.
Starting but Dak.
Okay, so if nobody else is starting but Dak, then what are we talking about here?
We're talking about, in 2 years, him getting backup money to be the backup to Dak Prescott by Cooper Rush goes and get a deal because he deserves it.
In order-
Wait.
Y'all done lost your mind.
Wait.
Y'all done
But
lost
Dak
your mind.
Prescott.
So it looked like, oh my God, man, the inmates are running the asylum at first. But as the week went on and I start watching more and more episodes of the new Undisputed, I have to be honest with you, I thoroughly enjoy it. I really do. But like I said, Unc is going to pull up to Stephen A. This upcoming Monday. But even with the revamped lineup of Undisputed, First Take still kicked that ass. And when I say kick that ass, I mean it was really bad. Let me see if I can get some stats for you. Okay, so during the first week of Undisputed Live, since they got back on air with the revamped show, it drew about 131,000 viewers to 448,000 viewers for First Take. So Stephen A. Smith is still a machine. Say what you want about Stephen A. I love him. I told you before. I read his book. I like what he does. He goes on other people's podcasts. This brother is always willing to give people who want to be in the business that are serious about it a chance. So Stephen A. is the train that keeps on training. Like I said, I like the revamped show. I really do. Gives them time. The number's probably going to go up. But First Take, which Skip started, and left the reins to Stephen A. is still a monster. So that's going to be hard to beat. Okay, now let's get into some other stuff. I don't know if you heard, but and I got to be honest with you, I'm not falling for the okie doke again. But there's a new COVID strain that's out, and everyone's talking about it. I don't know if everyone's talking about it, but it seems like the media, they just love racial issues and and contagious disease paranoia. So new COVID-19 cases continue to rise nationwide. A new variant dubbed Pyrola, and that's Pirola, has experts worried. See, that's all you have to say. Once the experts are worried, then that's then you have to put stock in that, right? Because if they're worried, then it must be serious, and then the government's going to get worried, and then next thing you know, your job is at jeopardy again if you do not probably take a mandatory vaccine or the jab. Now, I'm not saying we're there yet, but I'm telling you right now, if my job comes to me and tell me that it's mandatory to take a jab, and hopefully we don't get there. I think we see that if you're healthy and if you stay on top of your health and if you relatively eat right and you take the proper vitamins and, that even if you do catch the COVID, the majority of the time you should be fine. So I hope we don't get to a place where another rounds of vaccine mandates is going to permeate the media.
Alert, the newest COVID variant has been detected in the city, although not in a person. The city's health commissioner says the BA2.86 variant has been found in the city's sewage. Cases of the new variant have been on the rise across the country, but there is no indication that it causes more severe illness. The city's health department says an updated COVID vaccine is expected to become available in the coming week.
Yeah, we've heard it all before. Listen, there's a new variant coming out. It seems similar to the old variant, all right? Okay? Meet the new boss, okay? He's just like the old boss, as the WHO would say. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I don't care if people tell us to get a jab. I'm not going down this road again. Let me tell you guys something, and let me be transparent about something. Ever since I've gotten the old jab before, right? And I've gotten it twice. I got the jab, and then I got a booster, right? And there's many regrets in my life. I regret regret taking the COVID vaccination. I haven't been right since. So ever since I've gotten the vaccine, it seems like my head, when I'm sleeping, when I'm laying flat on my back, is all over the place. I can't seem to kind of center things. And it's only when I'm laying flat on my back or if I look up, it seems like my head gets all foggy, things like that. Now, I thought it was a couple of things. I thought it was high blood pressure, which it wasn't. As a New York City bus driver, we can get decreased hearing in our ears from the noise pollution. I thought it was that. Got that checked out. No, it wasn't. I thought it was maybe a tumor in my brain. I'm telling you, I'm like really, when it comes to my health, I'll go do a battery of tests just to see what's up. So I thought it was something in my head. Did MRIs and CAT scans. It was nothing. And I've never experienced these symptoms until I got the vaccination. Like I always say on the show, because I come here and I talk my ish. I'm not a doctor. I'm just a regular dude who talks regular dude crap. So I don't know if that's that. So I don't know if it's because of the vaccine. I just know since I've gotten the vaccine, and I believe I had a booster in 2021, that I ain't been right upstairs sometimes. And I hope this doesn't get too out of control. I'm not doing it. The only thing I miss about COVID times is the airfare. That's it. There was some beautiful airfare prices, man, during COVID time. I'm not going to lie to you. So, but I wouldn't want that to come back just for the sake of the whole world getting locked down again. No, I wouldn't. Okay, now, as everyone know, it is the 50th anniversary of the great and beautiful art form known as hip-hop. And I want to put my laptop down real quick. Let me put the mic. I don't know if you guys can see my shirt. Look at this shirt right here. I made it just for the show, for this show. Okay, so you got Nas, you got Jay-Z, you got Pac, you got Ice Cube, and you got Lil Wayne. Now, I know I'm probably going to get killed in the comments for those who cares about lists and stuff like that. But these guys on my shirt that I'm wearing, by the way, shout out to Made Top 5 who made this shirt for me. It's really dope. And I also got a cool metal shirt that I made as well, too. These are my top 5 rappers of all time. Just personally me as a middle-aged dude, and I'll get into why these rappers mean the world to me. But here's what I noticed about hip-hop turning 50. Because we've been celebrating all year, and you should. The art form has meant so much to so many people. The thing I love about hip-hop turning 50 is the growth in it. Now, you can see the growth. Now, you want to know how you know hip-hop is growing as a culture in her art form? Well, at least with my generation. Because a lot of the feuds that once were, and I hope this newer generation when they're doing that whole beefing, because honestly, everyone has their beef, right? Unfortunately, some ends pretty bad, like Tupac and Biggie with Def, or King Von, or well, those are not really rap beef. Those are like more street stuff. But you know what I mean? Beef that gets out of hand between artists. So recently, 50 Cent brought Fat Joe out on stage during his last victory lap tour that 50 has been doing.
50 Cent, what's up, nigga? Yeah. Let's get to it. I don't give a fuck about the faults of Miss Hammond's, nigga. We from the Bronx, New York.
Now, I know they've been squashed their beef that they had back in the day, but just to see the pure joy of 50 and Fat Joe on stage just shows me how much the culture has evolved and grown. There was a time that these two dudes would have killed each other on sight. There's no question about it.
Some rappers think they war ready and they beef ready till they step into the beef. And then they get somebody coming at them crazy. You know what I'm saying? Do you know what it's like to have beef with 50 Cent?
Today, I listened to Fat Joe's record, and it hurt.
50 Cent is incredible with the beef. Not just musically, but every day he was going viral. Yo, your mother, your wife. I'm like, oh my God, this guy here. Like,
but I guess once the passing of the great late Chris Lighty happened, and they kind of pieced things up, because this is the man that put him in position of wealth and power and influence as far as rap music goes, and they can branch on to other stuff and build their portfolio and become the successful men that they have today. To see that, just I just like, as a middle-aged old rap head, it just makes me go, man, look how far the art form has grown. Now, it hasn't grown to the part where where 50 and Ja Rule are going to be on the same stage together. But it's all about baby steps, bro. It's all about baby steps. Also, Cameron just put out a video on his IG bigging up Nas.
I want to give a quick shout out to that nigga Nas, you know what I'm saying, real quick. Queensbridge Nas, yes, Escobar. A lot of people may not know, or if you do know, that was his event, him and his company's event, Mass Appeal at Yankee Stadium the other day. And for them to invite me and make me a part of Hip Hop 50 shit that they put together, you know, knowing the history that we had in the past, that was really big of him to respect what I got going on as my contribution to hip hop the last 25 years I've been doing it, and knowing the past we had, whether it's beef or not beef or just music, whatever it is, I appreciate the invite from probably the greatest lyricist in our time.
And we all know, if you're a hip hop head, especially from my era, about the Nas and Cameron and Jim Jones beef. I mean, Jim Jones told Nas straight up, "I'll smack the kufi off your head," which is probably one of the, I mean, how you gonna tell another Muslim man that you're gonna smack the kufi off his head? I mean, it was really disrespectful. But the fact that hip hop is at a point now where two men who once had issues, and mind you, if once you grow and mature as a man, and if it's not like serious personal stuff or attacks, or someone didn't like physically harm you, you can see that 99.9% of all these so-called rap beefs are just trivial at most, and it's just a testosterone competitive UFC of linguistic style of just verbal warfare that, you know, it's just part of the game. But if you're blessed enough to grow up and get wisdom and understanding, you can look back at it and chuckle, man. So it was real dope that not only did Nas bring Cameron out at Yankee Stadium, but that Cameron acknowledged it and gave Nas his salute. So before I go into the shirt, why these particular guys right here, why they are my top 5, I want to talk about real quick what the art form of hip hop means to me. Hip hop means the world to me. It takes me back to a time where I was an insecure, shy kid. I really was. And I ain't gonna lie to you, I have no problem telling you guys, and those who know me personally know this to be true. I was never a fighter, I was a lover. I really was. I just wanted the chicks, man. I didn't want to fight anyone. I really didn't. But the first time that I fell in love with hip hop was a couple occasions. I'll give you some stories real quick. The first one was the group called EPMD with the rapper Parrish Smith and his rapper and producer partner Eric Sherman. Now, I used to listen to this tape called Business as Usual all the time, going to junior high school. And then sometimes when, let's say if I had a sick day or I had a day that there wasn't any school, my mom used to take me down to her job where she used to work in Lower East Side Manhattan. And I used to play the Business as Usual cassette till like it popped. And I had the Walkman, but not the Walkman with the rewind. I had the cheap Walkman with the fast forward button. If you want, you already know what you had to do. If you want to rewind something, you had to flip it over, fast forward it, flip it over again, and there you go. You got a spot. So EPMD was my guys. Now, the other guys who really influenced me, and I knew I loved the art form to the point where I wanted to participate in it, and I wanted to rap, was guys that maybe not too many people have heard of. They were local guys. To us, they were like superstars. And it was a group by the name of The Hoods, and that consisted of my god brother Kareem Davis. It consisted of the good brother Frito, and it consisted of their DJ, the good brother Keith. He was called Rock. I think he had another name. I'm not sure, but now, these are my peers. These are people like Kareem lived like on the second floor of my building. So, and his uncle is the great Dougie Fresh. And I remember one time he put me on the phone with Dougie Fresh. And Dougie Fresh was just as smooth then as he is now. Asked me, "Hey, man, what's your favorite? Hey, what's up, youngin? What's your favorite artist? Who you like?" I mean, just to spend 2 minutes on the phone with me. Doug didn't have to do that, especially then. Back in the 80s, Doug was a megastar, so he didn't have to do that, but he did. So the Hoods were the first people I know that had their rap music pressed up on a vinyl, because they had signed with a company at the time called Blunted Records. And I just remember hearing my godbrother. To me, he was like a superstar. He had it all. He had the charisma. He had the looks. He had the rhymes. He was always in pocket. He was always in flow. He had the voice. His cadence was amazing. So they shot a video in my building inside the courtyard. And all those young dudes was out there hanging on the rails while the hoods, the three of them, was the superstars, and they were doing their thing. It was then at that video shoot I knew one or two things. One, yo, that's what I want to do. And two, I could do that. Because like I said, I wasn't a fighter, right? I was more of a lover. But there's one thing that I knew I was good at. I was good at expressing myself, and I was good at words, and I was good at putting words together. And I knew, I don't care who you are, there's not too many people that's better than me at doing this. It's so crazy. A couple of years ago, a good friend of mine from the old neighborhood named Mo, he just randomly hit me on IG. He was like, bro, by the way, I just wanted to tell you, you were nasty. And to me, that was a great compliment. You know, he didn't have to do that. I mean, we're all middle-aged men now. We're all at different parts of our lives or whatever. But the fact that he took time, like, yo, bro, I'm not going to lie to you, man. You were nasty. It's kind of like everyone's not going to make it to the league, right? Everyone's not. But you know that there's somebody in your neighborhood who is sick with that handle. And his handle's probably better than Kyrie. His handle's probably better than Isaiah Thomas or Iverson or whoever. But he just never got a chance to make it to the league. But you know he's nice. So that's what the local rap scene is kind of sometimes. Yeah, we don't all make it. But you give shots out to those who are nice. So I just want to kind of give a shout out to those brothers who I mentioned, the hoods. I mean, when I seen them do that video and they would give me the vinyl all the time. And at the time I was getting into DJing. To me, that's like a hip hop moment I won't forget. Now, let me tell you about... one more hip hop story before I get into why these guys are my top 5. Yeah, today is like my ode to hip hop, so to speak, right? Okay, I believe it's 1998, 1999. I don't know, but there was this place in my old neighborhood called NYC Boons. It's, if you know the 6 train and if you know the Bronx, it's pretty much when you get off Whitlock and then you walk up that little block that's on Whitlock. It's that little club that's going to be on your right hand side. Now, at this particular time, Big Pun was still alive, and Big Pun was there. He was there with Fat Joe. He was there with the whole Terror Squad. I remember seeing Cuban Link at the time with the scar on his face and everything. I could see, listen, I got a bad memory. But I remember that day clearly. I remember that day like it was yesterday. That's how vivid it all comes back to me. So anyway, I don't know what was going on with me, but I was like in the prime of my writing. As far as rapping, I would go to the studio and I would literally shut it down. And I'm not just saying this from the perspective of a middle-aged dude who's having revisionist history about things. I'm telling you that's just what happened. So anyway, my good friend, my brother Caesar, I call him Gutter. He spoke to Kool Herc. Yeah, Kool Herc, the godfather of rap, was at the club one day. And I don't know what Gutter did. I don't know how he did it. But he convinced Kool Herc, the godfather of rap, to let his boy, his friend, they called me Nux Legend at the time. I wasn't good with the hands, but I was good with the words. He convinced him to let his boy Nux Legend go on stage at some point and battle Big Pun. I even think Caesar had put money. I don't know. Maybe. I think so. I think he put some sort of money down on me. Now listen, about my bro Caesar, there's 2 things I know about him. 1, he loves his money. 2, if he don't believe in it, he's not going to commit. So the fact that the money man at the time, committed to his boy battling a rap legend, an icon. I'm talking about 1998. I'm talking about dead in the middle of Little Italy time that was going to battle Big Pun. To me, that gave me all the confidence in the world. And I ain't going to lie, being high too probably helped as well. So anyway, I'm about to battle Big Pun. I'm ready to battle I'm ready to, yo, man, sink or swim. I'm battling this guy, right? True story, swear to God. Wouldn't make it up. I don't know what happened, but I know Kool Herc goes on stage and he goes, hey, I hope that young Nux Legend is ready. True story. I'm like, yo, Gutter, I'm really going through this. He's like, yo, you got to. Like, he's putting all the type of, him and my boy Julio, they're putting all the type of batteries in my back. For some reason, that battle never happened. I never got called on stage, and I thank God for that, because Pun would have killed me. Here's why. I was gonna rhyme on the Benjamin beat. This is 1998. This is when the Locks was first coming out. Big had just recently passed away. The Benjamins was the hottest song on the block. Every car rolling by was playing the Benjamins, right? I wanted that Benjamins beat. I was gonna murder it. Didn't happen. A couple of months later, I hear Pun on one of his rhymes says, when he dropped his album called Dream Shatterer, he said, "It doesn't matter. I'll even let you rhyme to the Benjamin beat." Man, listen, Pun would have gave me my lunch. He would have took my lunch. He would have hit me with 1,000 pounds of pressure per slap. Hand me my purse back. Yo, it would have got ugly up in NYC Boom. So I just wanted to tell that story. That's like my almost famous hip hop moment. Now let me get to the guys on my shirt. Okay, so you see Nas, Jay, Tupac, Ice Cube, Lil Wayne. Why does these guys mean so much to me as far as the art form of hip hop? Let's start with Nas, right? To me, Nas is the best lyricist that ever lived. Now, when I was younger, in my early 20s, I had Jay-Z over Nas at the time because I just thought Nas was preachy, but I wasn't really mature enough to understand the artistry of Nasir Jones. But as I've gotten older and I go to his back catalog, I be like, man, this guy, Nas is amazing. Since Illmatic and Godson and Stillmatic, there were some albums in there that was a dud, but to see him mature, and he doesn't try to stay young. He actually rhymes like a man who's lived through some stuff and is maturing, right? His latest projects that he's been doing with Hit Boys have been phenomenal. So if I had to compare late bodies of work from Jay to Nas, I'm giving the edge to Nas. I just think he makes beautiful, brilliant, what I call, well, I'm stealing from Charlamagne, but he's right, adult contemporary rap. I just do. Now, to me, Jay-Z is like he's like our Picasso. He's like the artistry of drug dealing rap. He's like what can happen if you get a chance to be on a platform to put all the street smarts you had and all the business acumens that you did, but you're doing it in a bad way. If you had a chance to get in a position and make it work for you in a positive way. And Jay-Z has shown millions of people how to transition from the streets to music to business and to other ventures. Jay-Z is kind of like our Jeff Bezos, if you ask me. Jay-Z is like our, yeah, he's just Jay-Z. I mean, I didn't get a chance to because life was just lifing for me, but I never went to go see the Jay-Z exhibit at the Brooklyn Museum. But just the fact that you could take this man's art, his lyrics, and everything that he has accomplished and amassed in his almost 30-year career, and you can put it on display. Guys, we're talking about hip-hop. This is not the Beatles. This is not the Stones. This is literally Jay-Z from Marcy Projects is in step, and he's a peer and he's a counterpart of what we consider rock and roll legends. So to me, that's why Jay-Z personally is one of my top 5. Now, Tupac. As you see, I roll with Pac wherever I go. To me, Tupac saved my life numerous times when I was coming up and I was going through certain things in life. And when I quite didn't understand myself and I was trying to find myself, I vented on Tupac music. And, now he died in 1996. And there was a time from like 96 to like 2000. I was struggling with things emotionally and mentally. And Tupac got me through some tough times. He really did. Now, I know people used to say Tupac is a contradiction. But that's the thing. When you're a young black man and you're trying to find yourself, there's going to be a lot of contradictions. Not even just a young black man, just a young man in general. You're going to be a lot of contradictions because you're trying to find yourself and you're trying to get comfortable in your skin. And that's the thing I admired about Tupac Amaru Shakur. He was comfortable in his skin. He was comfortable with his vulnerabilities. He was comfortable with his toughness. He was comfortable with his sensibilities as well. And he loved his mama. So Tupac is my number 3. Ice Cube. Ice Cube doesn't get enough credit. To me, Ice Cube is one of the top 3 lyricists. Yeah, lyricists. To me, one of the top 3 lyricists that came out of Los Angeles. To me, my top 3 real quick, Los Angeles MCs are Ice Cube, The Game, Kendrick. Maybe. I might go back to that later. But anyway, Cube. Cube was the main writer of NWA. Cube was the reason why those boys sounded like the way they did. I mean, outside of MC Ren, who wrote his own lyrics. But it was pretty much Cube, Ren, and of course the DOC used to pen a lot of stuff for Eazy-E. to me, Ice Cube doesn't get enough credit for his what he has done as far as after rap. The movies he's produced, the comedians that he has put on his big screen platform and given a chance in movies, whether it's Chris Tucker or if it's Mike Epps and even Cat Williams was in some of his movies. To me, Ice Cube is a stand-up guy, which is why I never understood the backlash that he got a couple of years ago and even this year. If you know anything, like, and you know, we don't know these guys personally, but you can kind of get a good sense of who people are through their music. Ice Cube is a solid man. He's one of those people that I would probably vote if he ran for something. So he's my number 4. And probably my number 5, my last pick, is probably my most controversial person on the shirt, and that's Lil Wayne. Guys, Lil Wayne is an alien. Lil Wayne is out of this world. Sometimes, and mind you, all 5 of these guys on my shirt, they're in heavy rotation wherever I'm at. Lil Wayne is on another planet. Lyrically, he is probably definitely not in my personal top 5, but just in the top 5 general with people who are experts and, you know, they say they know more than me. Lil Wayne is in that discussion. Some of the lyrics Lil Wayne say they're out of control, and you don't catch it till like the 10th listen, to be honest with you. I remember there was a point that Lil Wayne stepped on a beat that Jay-Z was on, and Jay-Z had to question himself, yo man, do I need to go back to the lab? Because this was Prime Wayne. He like this Prime Wayne was a monster. He really was. No one could touch Prime Wayne. And not only that, Lil Wayne is also in my top 5 because at one point he transitioned and did a rock album called Rebirth with a lot of people crapped on it and didn't like it. I thoroughly enjoyed it because if you know me, you know that I'm a rock and roll head, and I thoroughly enjoyed that Rebirth album. To me, it was a phenomenal album. So that's my top 5: Nas, Jay-Z, Tupac, Ice Cube, and Lil Wayne. No matter who your top 5 is, no matter if you agree with mine, no matter if I disagree with yours, the fact that the culture is just getting where it's getting, and we're maturing and we're evolving. I really, 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 really love hip hop. I really do. Now, let's get into it. Just a smidget of politics as usual. Okay, now, when I was going to do the story, I was going to make fun of it, but you know what? When I seen it multiple times, I was like, you know what? Actually, I'm not going to make fun of it, because whether or not you disagree with the man politics or what he stands for, to kind of see this in person, it's sad. Mitch McConnell froze up again. Yeah, this is the second time for the whole world to see. And it made me ask myself, it made me think, should there be like term limits for these guys? Should these guys kind of check out? I mean, the average American, the average everyday Joe Schmo, what do we have? Where are we at? Are we at like what? Like 65? They suggest we kind of walk out of there. Well, should the same be said for the people that represent us, the politicians, the senators, the congressmen, etc.? I think so, because what's going on here, it's really crazy. So let's take a look. Okay, so what's the median age of the resident population of the United States? Okay, we're going to go. Okay, so the average age right now is around 39 years old. Okay, so it's like a lot of middle-aged people. That's the median age of the people that live in the United States of America. Now, Mitch McConnell, like I said, who just froze up again. Mitch McConnell, how old is Mitch McConnell? Okay, Joe Biden is 80 years old. And by the way, when Joe Biden was asked about Mitch McConnell freezing up again, he said he was concerned about his friend. And he said he was going to give Mitch a call. Now, you know you're in bad shape when barely there Joe Biden is telling you, hey, man, you might need to hang this up. So Joe Biden is 80, and Mitch McConnell is, I want to say older. Mitch McConnell's 81 years old. Guys, it's scary to see that, man. It really is. I think something needs to be done. I mean, how long do you want power for? Clearly, you're not equipped to do this job anymore. I think his handler should say, Mitch, you had a good run. Oh, as my cousin Tut will say, money-making Mitch. I think you should have a talk with Mitch and tell him it might be time to hang it up, because these things that are happening to him are quite scary. Okay.
Senator, you're up for election in 3 short years. What are your thoughts on that?
I'm sorry, I had a hard time hearing you.
That's okay. What are your thoughts on running for re-election in 2026?
What are my thoughts about what?
Running for re-election in 2026.
That's
Did you hear the question, Senator? Running for re-election in 2026?
yes.
All right, I'm sorry, you all. We're going to need a minute. Senator Benny.
Okay, so what does physicians say that happened to him? Okay, so 2 episodes where the Republican senator froze and did not respond to some questions may be symptoms of a serious illness, according to neurologists not involved with his medical care. But what is it? Is it something called an absent seizure? Is it something where he is having mini strokes? I don't know. Whether caused by seizures or mini strokes or something else, spells like Mr. McConnell's will not preclude most patients from working or socializing normally. Seizures have a stigma in our society that unfortunate because these are very brief electrical interruptions in behavior. Between those rare episodes, which are usually well controlled with medicines, people function perfectly normal. And that's, who said that? That's Dr. Jeffrey Saver. He's a professor at neurology for UCLA. So, but it still looks bad because this is the minority House leader. This man represents some sort of whatever you want to call it to the United States of America. So even on the optics, it doesn't look good that one of our leaders of our government, of our democracy, is there having many strokes or seizures in front of the camera for the world to see. I've said it before on this podcast, and I'll say it 1,000 times before. We have to get younger as far as politicians go. We just have to. I'm not a political science, but I'm going to play one on TV. To me, the cutoff age has to at least be 72 years old. Take your money, take your pension, take your perks, take your Secret Service, and just retire. Okay. It's your boy Marcus from Don't Kill the Messenger podcast. I got exciting news for you guys. October 22nd, mark it down on your calendars. Commissioner Q, yeah, this guy right here looking like the Black Adam Silver, will bring to you the 2nd annual We Move New York Invitational Games. Now, let me tell you what you get for only the price of $25. What you get is the following. 2 p.m., that's when the softball game starts. That's team buses versus team trains. And then at 5 p.m., that's when the basketball games jump off. Now, in the basketball games, you're going to get We Move New York versus the guys from Long Island. And then after that, we got Philly coming all the way down to New York to take a L against the guys from New Jersey. And then after those games conclude, we're going to have the main event, the brawl for it all, what we came to see. Team buses versus team trains in basketball. Listen, I'm not a betting man, but if I had to bet my money, my COVID bonus, which is going to get heavily taxed, I'm putting all of that bread on team buses. So here's a couple of ways you can get your tickets. First, you can go to WeMoveNewYork.com to get your tickets for only $25. Or you can watch my podcast, Don't Kill the Messenger podcast, the new episode. And if you answer the question, how many Grammys does Jay-Z have? The first one to leave that correct answer will receive 2 free tickets to the game. So remember, mark that on your calendar. October 22nd, Riverbank State Park, the 2nd annual We Move New York Invitational, brought to you by Commissioner Q. I'm going to be there. I hope to see you guys there too. Peace.